Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first ever installment of the Midwest LMP series, at least casted. We do have, this is round 2 of the season, as last time out the drivers took on the Daytona road course, but today we are at the fictional circuit of Maggiore here in Italy. It's a beautiful circuit. That's one that you're going to be sure to enjoy, as currently we're along with Josh Sr. in his Gulf Porsche-inspired 919 hybrid, as he's rounding the final corner. Let's go along with him in his Porsche 919 down the pit straight of the fictional circuit into a very tight 90-degree left-handed corner that's sure going to throw the drivers for the loop in the race into an immediately 180-degree right-hander. That's only one line around, and if you get it wrong, it's not going to be very pretty then, is it? Turn 3, bit of a swooping left-hander into then a very, again, kind of tight right-hander, but at least you have runoff this time down one of the 3 straights here. Down the straight you go. Cambered right-hand corner, as you can see. Hit that apex nicely as he's done. Use as much exit as you can. Back down. You've got a couple of S-curves now. These are quite tricky to navigate even in the LMP, I would assume. GT3 cars, it's a whole another story. You can take those varying degrees of quick if you'd like. Pretty lenient right-hander. Down the hill into the beautifully banked tight corner here, 135-degree corner. It looks as if take as much of the entry as you can. Entry curve, hit that apex nicely. That'll be a fun one for race time for sure. Josh Sr. on a pretty solid lap at the moment, has to be said. It is Porsche 919. Oh, and I believe he's just hit the grass. Well, wait, no, he hasn't. All right, never mind then. Doing well. That was, I can't even tell what's happening now. What do you call it? The internet's all over the place, as you can tell. But Josh Sr. doing his best. Final corner this. Swooping downhill, left-hander down to the pit straight. Not a lot of exit to work with there, but it looks as if it's not been a bad lap. Behind him, Robert Yates. Where does he go? And it is just under 9/10 of a second slower than Josh Sr.'s lap. We've got Limestone Butter, who he's coming out of the final corner now. Down the line goes a provisional pole. I believe Dace has just gone through the final corner. Has it hit something? Yes, he has. You see the damage on the right front side on the indicator at the bottom of the screen. He's also in the Porsche 919. A subtle hole that's gone through, also in the Porsche Natural Uncliffe. Aero Racing Design and Ray here, 1 and 2, making their way down the pit straight. Who does what? Aero Racing Design goes 5th. And Ray has gone P7. Doesn't look like it was the best lap from him. He's currently over 2 seconds off the pace limit. Electric Blade going through, what is it, sector 2 now. Got myself the track map open now. I can actually have a not bad cast. Thomas making his way through the final corner. Let's see what he has. Down the line goes Cake. I believe that one was more or less just an installation type lap because it's currently 8 seconds off the pace. So I'm assuming this is going to be the lap that counts then for Cake. Josh Sr. new fastest lap for him, 1:39.965. Moves atop the table. Very bright yellow Red Bull inspired Porsche here, as you can see. Well, I was really done that one. I like the little mixture of blue in there as well. The lime green, that's right. Turns out there's not one track map on Google Images with corner numbers. So I actually have not an idea what's happening here. I'll give my best to kind of go through them as much as I can. Down the bank corner is Cake Thomas. Let's see what he has. Bit of a roller coaster elevation change then. And I think he's handled that one well. 6, almost 7, 10, 11, say 19. 19 corners, I'd say. Either which way, Cake Thomas making his way through the final corner now. Down to the line, this looks a good one here. And it is provisional pole 1:39.560. Takes 4/10 off of the sector 3 time. That is a very good lap, and that puts 4/10 back to Josh Sr., who, by the way, exiting the final corner now. What does he have in store here? And this is going to be now his time lap, I'd say. Perhaps. You can see his tires definitely getting worn then. Limestone Butter on his way in. One thing that we have in this class is we don't have in the GT3 series. We do have the energy store kind of deployment like you do in F1, but you can't actually do anything with it. It just sits there, and your car is very much crippled if you don't have enough of it. As we can see, Josh Sr. currently has a lot stored up, and he is, I would say, conserving to maybe next time, get himself a good timed lap with the battery full. That may be what he's doing here. Cake Thomas, you can see, he's about halfway done on the battery. Making his way through sector 2. This will be 3 at this point. Well, he's going to be into 3 here in a second. Aren't there? Cake Thomas rounding into the final corner now. What does he have in store? Uses a button. So tough to tell without the internet being good. Across the line goes Cake Thomas. He does complete a lap. It didn't look like it was a better one, but oh yes, it was 1:39.548. The delay here was quite crippling. But, Josh Sr. on his way into the pits. We can assume he'll be putting on the softs. He would be doing that for a qualifying run. Remember, an hour of Maggiore coming up here shortly. Limestone Butter has 3rd place at the moment by only 12/1000ths of a second over Electric Blade. Blade making his way. This is a fresh time lap for him. Let's see what he has to offer. He makes his way now through sector 2, through the S-curves. Currently 2/10 of a second better. Good lap so far from Electric Blade. Another Red Bull inspired Porsche here. Anyone on the grid who isn't in Porsches? We've got Cakes in a Porsche, Josh Sr. on a Dace on a Porsche, Josh Sr. on a Porsche, Limestone in a Porsche, Electric Blade, Ray, Subtle also, Aubrey Yates, and Air Racing Design, all Porsches here. Oh, this is a brilliant money line livery, that one has to be said. I guess maybe I'll just have to buy the Porsche. I don't have 3 million credits at the moment. I spent the last million to buy the Audi. And as it turns out, that's just simply not the meta. That's what it is. The Porsche Cup, essentially, here in Midwest LMP Series. Cake Thomas 1:39.353. So we have 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. We'll have to wait and see. 2 drivers coming around the back straight now. We've got Dace in pursuit of, who is that in front of him? Please have the driver names instead of the car names, please. There we go, that's fine. We do have Electric Blade making his way down towards, what is this, turn 1, 2, 3, 4, turn 5. Currently a quarter of a second slow as Subtle on his way in. Taco Bell inspired Porsche then. Is he filling up his car? This is quite odd here. I would not fill all the way. In fact, I would put in as less fuel as possible. In fact, none. Because in these qualifying sessions, you're not in control of how much fuel is in the car. You only put it in if you run low. You can't, like, start low, which is stupid, but you know, that's how the game is. I believe we've just had, well, we're going to have Aero Racing Design come around the final corner now. Not a time lap from him, I would say. Only 4 seconds off the pace. Making his way into the first corner. I get ready to turn down my TV volume because my headphones are crapping out. I don't want to get the recoil then. Aero Racing Design, according to my screen, so we're going to trip through the grass. Uses all the exit curve there, down the straight in towards turn 5. Behind him, he's got Ray Ray, and the Electric Blade has just gone a personal best 139. What was that? 139.857 for Electric Blade. Puts 7.5 tenths between himself and provisional pole. Dace ahead of him. Dace only a 10.5 away from King Thomas's provisional time 3 minutes to go in the session. As Dace making his way through the track in towards sector. What is this? It would be 4, wouldn't it? Sector 1 ends before turn 5. Sector 2 ends going down the straight before the downhill. Yeah, Sector 4, I guess. Dace making his way through Sector 4 at the moment, down through the final corner. Looks to be a pretty solid lap so far. We'll have to wait and see what it comes out to here as it crosses the line. And it was a 1:38.670, 4 tenths of a second faster than his previous best. That puts 4 tenths of a second back to Kate Thomas, who meanwhile, making his way into Sector 4 now. He'll be on the way to a time lap here in a second. We'll have to wait and see. We've only got 2 minutes remaining in the session. Game yet again. That is gone wide, but that's just not the case. I think he may have actually crashed then. Yes, he has. I thought it was the internet doing that. No, Cake actually crashed coming out of the final corner. Aero Racing Design goes 1:42.54. That puts himself P6. So not bad from Aero Racing Design. That said, we need a bit more. Cake back in. He's got that front damage. Fuel coming in, it seems. Dace on his way down the straight into the banked corner. Seems to be doing quite well. Uses a good amount of exit then. Little flick left and right. Down there, currently, it's a tenth faster through Sector 3 as he goes through Sector 4 now. Remember, he's already got 4 tenths up on Cake Thomas in second place. Looks as if he might get even more here as he rounds the final corner. Down the pit straight. Let's see what he's got. It looks a really solid lap in the final minute of qualifying here. To the line goes Dace, 1:38.508. That now puts nearly 6 tenths back to Cake Thomas, who just chilling in the pits it seems. Josh Senior's gone off then. Nope, he's in the pits as it turns out. Well, I think he's put himself in the pits after that little incident then. Limestone on a fresh time lap here, so we'll have to wait and see if he can manage anything here. Here currently resides just under, just under 1.3 seconds behind the leader at the moment in time. He's got less than a tenth back to Electric Blade. Electric Blade, however, it seems has just had an accident as he's got damage on the rear and is trying to get back up to speed. It looks as if right now we're going to have Dace on pole. Cake Thomas and Josh Senior, all they can manage is second. Limestone Butter making his way through the S's and out of them, about to go on the roller coaster downhill section. And currently 3/4 of a second off the pace. That one I don't think is going to be worth much in the long run, neither nor is Electric Blade's lap after he had a spin not long ago. It does look as if Aero Racing Design might be on a competitive one at the moment. Tough to tell as he makes his way through the S's. He's got, who is that in front of him? Ray Ray ahead of him. Aero Racing Design nearly 4 tenths slower through Sector 2 at the moment. Ray Ray down the hill. I don't necessarily think this is going to be the best lap from Ray Ray either. A lot of sand on the exit then. That has certainly not helped him with the acceleration. That one may prove to be just a little bit costly there for him. He has 6 tenths of a second off the pace. What does Bobbert Yates have in store here? He's making his way through the final corner. No, he resides 3 seconds off the lead. And I believe, yep, well, he's just hit the wall there. And that is the same mistake that Cake Thomas made on his last time attempt. But while he's crossed the line, he rounds out the field P9. Limestone Butter, I don't think is managed anymore. He's going to reside 4th. Electric Blade in 5th. Aero Racing Design crossed the line. He'll only go 6th. And Ray Ray finishing it out with 7th. Or so it seems. So here we are then, ladies and gentlemen, back at Lago Maggiore circuit here, I think is the full name of it. Race will be starting here shortly. So I was right, I did find a track map. We did have 17 corners instead of just, what do you call it, instead of the 19 that I counted. We are going to have lights coming on here in a second. 9 cars on the grid. Let's see what the Midwest LMP class has to offer here. Lights are on and lights are out. Dace has pole position. He'll be on the inside line heading into the first corner. It looks as if he's got himself a damn good start here. Cake Thomas on his outside. Josh Sr. down to his inside. Well, I didn't see that one at first. Josh Sr., I think, nearly had himself a go at the top spot as Cake Thomas finds his way around through turn 2, and it looks like side by side. Through 3, then Dace still edges out and has the lead. As they go through 4, it looks as if Dace still does have the lead as Josh Sr. Looking on in pursuit here of Cake Thomas and Dace ahead as they head through, what is this? This is now turn 5. Looks as if everyone has gotten away okay then. The battle for the lead still 4/10 of a second or less. We'll have to see. Cake Thomas got right close there. He's not going to be afraid to be aggressive to get that lead away from Dace here in the opening stages of the race. Remember, we're in for an hour here. A lot of time left, but the battles have to be done this early on because simply, other than that, you're not going to make them on track. It's going to be up to you to not make the mistakes as Cake Thomas tries to go around the outside through turn 11, swoops back down to the inside. That was a brilliant move there from Cake Thomas in his very bright Porsche 919. As it looks like he's got the lead. No, they're still side by side as they make their way through 12 and 13. Cake finally takes control of the race here on the opening lap, but Dace is still right behind him. As it seems for now, Cake does begin to start to pull away about 4/10 of a second, now about half a second, as Cake leads the grid back down the hill. We do have 2 cars slow then. It's Aero Racing Design and Ray Ray. 2 cars which, by the way, found a lot of time next to each other in the qualifying session. I don't want to say getting in the way of each other, but it definitely seemed like they could not find room to get away from each other. That Electric Blade is within 4/10 of Josh Sr., at least he was, and he is once again. Electric Blade, let's see what he has in his chrome Red Bull designed Porsche. Trying to find his way past the lovely colored Golf car then being driven by Josh Sr. as they head down the second straight here. It looks as if we got a nice little battle towards the back here. Got Subtle and Bobber Yates battling it out as they head in towards turn 5. Looks as if Suttle's going to hold him off for now, as Bobber Yates really challenged him coming out of turn 4. But at the moment, that's what we've got so far. Subtle seriously having to defend from Bobber. Then Bobber, oh, he's gotten really close then to Subtle. I think even made contact because he's suddenly lost a lot of time. Ooh, yeah, I think Bobber has probably collided with him there. Dace now finds himself 7/10 away from Cake as they head in towards turn 11. A lot of dirt there on exit from Cake. That may have hurt him. Let's see what happens here. We do have 3 minutes in, second lap so far. The grid has begun to kind of fan out a bit here, although we do have this is Bobber Yates way down to the inside, trying to find something for Subtle here, perhaps maybe trying to make him to force him into a mistake. We'll see that type of thing happen. Bobber taking the outside line through turn 17, down the pit straight. It looks as if starting to kind of close in on Subtle. We can maybe have a 2-for-1 job here if he gets past Subtle, because he'll have Limestone ahead of him. But at this moment in time, that's just not the case quite yet. Dace still looking forward on Cake Thomas here, exiting turn 4. Down the hill in towards turn 5. It looks as if Electric Blade trying to peek his head in on the battle here. Not necessarily all that close to the top 3. but doing his best and putting in some good laps as well. That one was nearly a tenth faster than his previous go-through of Sector 1. Looks like, yep, Bobbert closing in on this battle still. Well, I tell you what, maybe has he fallen off a second here, because that gap now outside of a second, only temporarily, as he's closed it yet again. Subtle now pressuring Limestone more than he's getting pressure from Bobbert, that part's for sure, as they head down the back straight. There's a half-mile back straight here, down the hill in towards turn 11. If Subtle gets the line correctly, he may have a move. Let's see what he does. He's going to try the inside, going to force Limestone high. Does Limestone get good acceleration? Well, he's had a bit of a wiggle then. He's nearly got into Subtle, but it looks as if everyone has come out a bit okay. This Taco Bell inspired Porsche then, making their way now in towards turn 14. Almost contact being made there. Subtle doing his best. Bobbert still in pursuit, hoping that Subtle makes a mistake. And I tell you what, Subtle, the more aggressive he is trying to get past Limestone, the more likely that is that he will make a mistake. That is typically how it goes here. Down the pit straight for them. I realize we have a battle for the lead going. This is just looking like the overtake's going to be made any second now. Quick note as well, required tires for the event, both the mediums and the softs. So assume the grid started on the softs. We could see the mediums in action and then maybe try to conserve and take a bigger chunk out of that time as they possibly could. 5.5 minutes completed here. Bobbert did not get best acceleration coming out of turn 2, nearly lost the car, but still follows in line behind Subtle and Limestone ahead. Aero Racing Design slowly starting to claw back to this battle here. I believe he had an incident there on the first lap. He had fallen off quite significantly, but as it looks now, he is back within 4 seconds, a gap that was at least 6 not that long ago, perhaps 2 laps ago. I think that was about that. Let's check back in with our leaders. Dace closing back in on Kate Thomas here, still teetering on the brink of about 1 second. That is what he's been doing for the longest time at this moment. Trying his best to find some movement to Cake. Tell you what, get Cake in clean air, and he is absolutely going to pull away from the field. And I credit Dace because he's doing a great job keeping up with Cake here. And Cake did not have the result at Willow Springs in the GT3 class that we ran on Saturday. He finished 5th, I want to say, 4th or 5th in that race, after having a couple of incidents, which is very unlike him, to say the least. As we'll go back along now, Bobbert seems to have fallen outside a 1.5 seconds and now finds himself under pressure more from Aero Racing Design than he is pressuring the 2 cars ahead as they make their way through turn 17. Looks like Limestone trying to close the gap to Ray ahead. That lap was over 1.3 seconds slower than that previous go-through. Still 8/10, and it looks as if, yeah, it does look as if Aero Racing Design wanted his way down to the inside there. I tell you what, he nearly found the inside. He got really close, that part's for sure. He nearly put Bobbert for a spin there. Does he get good acceleration coming out of 4? He's going to have to go the long way around. Big snaps of oversteer trying to collect it as Aero Racing Design. I think he's going to try the old switcheroo here, take the outside, switch back down when Bobbert goes back high. And no, it looks like he may just follow in line. I tell you what, he did get right close to making that move around Bobbert, but he's not made it quite yet. He's taken that corner slightly wide. That was turn 6. The rest of the S's were slightly compromised there for the Money Lion branded Porsche. All 4 of these cars within a second of each other. Well, 1 second to each. Subtle starting to pull away from Limestone. 1.5 seconds the gap. Oh, I believe that was a big wiggle there for Limestone. Yes, it is. Thankfully, he's kept it off the wall, and that one's going to be very crucial for him. I will say, and thankfully for him, he's not hit anything. So while he has lost spots, at least he's been able to pick the car back up and continue on. So I tell you what, you have one critical mistake, and it's all downhill from there. But Limestone gets relegated down to P8 after coming out of turn 11 quite poorly, getting in the gravel. Kate Thomas fastest lap, 1:38.823. Suttle's just gone over a second faster than his previous attempt. Oh, I think he's gone quite wide there through turn 1. Yes, he has. Bobbert's going to have a chance here if he can keep up with him. Suttle's gone plenty deep into turn 1 and compromised his line through for both 1 and 2. The gap from Bobbert back to Suttle. I think Bobbert's just made another mistake there because it was about half a second. Extended to over a second now. Turn 5 they go. Oh, Bobbert's gone quite wide there. He's had to really back the car down to keep it off the grass and off the spin. He's done well. And now as he finds his way through the S's here. I tell you what, that one's not done well for Bobber. Air Racing Design is definitely closing in. Trying his best to perhaps find a move around Bobber here as they head down towards turn 11. Down the half-mile back straight. Down the hill as well. Corner of turn 11. This is where we saw Limestone have the accident last time by. Speaking of Limestone, he's fallen to outside of 2.5 seconds behind this battle here. Battle for the lead. Dace has fallen nearly outside of 3 seconds. Back to Cake Thomas. Josh Sr. holding it very well in third after his, I want to say, 7th place finish at Willow Springs on Saturday. Might be under pressure from Electric Blade here shortly. Blade's had a pretty quiet start to the day so far, 10 minutes in. Suttle's still leading Bobber by 7/8 of a second, but it is climbing. Well, I say climbing, 1 minute it is, 1 minute it isn't. I'll tell you what, I don't think Bobbert's gotten best acceleration out of turn 2 again. Air Racing Design closing in nearly 0.4 of a second away. Might have a move if he finds it. Bobbert's not gone well through turn 4. And I tell you what, Air Racing Design down to the inside, and I think he may have this one. Yes, he does. Does he hold on to it? That's the next question, because Bobbert's still on the outside. And I tell you what, oh, Suttle's made somewhat of a mistake, because Air Racing Design's just gone past. Well, I wonder what's happened with Suttle, because Suttle was a fair way ahead, and then suddenly Suttle falls behind, and definitely is overtaken by Air Racing Design, and now is in under pressure from Bobbert in the yellow Porsche. I wish I could have seen what happened there because that one was right close to a pile-up coming out of turn 5. I think Suttle maybe just had a lick of oversteer. That does typically happen. As they make their way now through turns 12 and 13. Suttle's done well to try to, negate the mistake that he made. Although he will be under pressure here from Bobbert shortly. Though I say that, Bobbert's been, I think, in range to pressure people a couple times already and still hasn't. I don't want to say, I think he's just being patient is the key because you don't want to make a mistake and make a critical error that'll ruin both your and the driver you're battling's race. I think these endurance races are different because we don't have anything to neutralize the field. There's no virtual safety car. There's no safety car. There's no hoping for something to go wrong ahead. You really, it's up to you to make the race good. And if you get too gutsy and you try to send one on another driver and both of you get turned around, well, that's pretty much the end of your race. It has to be said. Suttle currently finds himself a second behind Aero Racing. Oh, he's gone over the grass then. Oh, I tell you what, there's no stewards in this game necessarily. There's not people going to call you out on the track limits. We do have track limits turned off. We've kept it up for the drivers. I tell you what, he's gained, I would say, a significant advantage there. Oh, look at Bobbert's up the inside. Can he get both of them? Yes, he does. What a move from Bobber Yates. I tell you what, he played the patient game, and he's made his way around both Aero Racing Design and Suttle. What a maneuver then from Bobber, but I tell you what, he's under pressure from Aero Racing Design now as they head towards turn 14. Aero Racing Design down the inside, and he'll have that one back. I was going to say about Suttle is he pretty much cut the S's of 6, 7, and 8, and it looked as if it had gained a... I don't want to say unsporting advantage. I don't think he's done it on purpose, but he got right close to Aero Racing Design as we just saw Bobbert lose the car going on the entrance to 17. Had a lot of oversteer, had to correct the car, and he's lost the position yet again. What's happened with Subtle here? He's gone straight on, is that right? Subtle's gone straight on. Well, no, he hasn't. Well, yes, he has. That doesn't look as if it was supposed to happen, because Subtle has fallen down to 8th. I thought it was my game going bonkers on me again, but he is definitely falling down. I'm not quite sure what happened there with Subtle as he just overshot turn 2. Stands now, air racing with it. Oh, he's just made a mistake. He's just got that chicane as well. Now the strategy game begins, it has to be said. The drivers all spread out at least with a second of each other. I will say Ray doing his best to pressure Subtle here for that 8th spot. To make their way down the back straight, it looks as if King Thomas and Day still maintain the top 2 here. No sign of the pitting yet. Looks like Cake and Dace doing significantly better on fuel than those behind, especially Ray, who finds himself nearly at a quarter of a tank here. And not only does he find himself at a quarter of a tank, he'll find himself at an overtake here of Subtle. He's gone the low line through turn 14 and 15. On board with Ray now as they make their way out of 16 into 17. Doesn't look as if he is really trying to muscle that car around. Suttle's going wide coming out of 17. As we look ahead, it looks as if Limestone doing his best to get back to this battle here. Oh, that was a big snap of oversteer then. He's lucky he hung on to the car. You can see he's playing the conservation game. He's still at half a tank of fuel. He's probably the best fuel-wise on the grid so far. Josh Senior, I would say, is the lowest. Currently resides 3rd, 10 seconds off the lead, 3.5 seconds back to Electric Blade. 16 minutes completed here. Wouldn't need to worry about fuel just yet. It does still look as if they have plenty. But I would say you're not going to be pitting for fuel. You're going to be pitting for tires. Most likely at this stage. Because as you can see, those tires are starting to fall off quite quickly. Even Cake is getting low, in fairness to him. 9/10 of a second gap still. Oh, Ray, oh, and he's gone wide through 11 into the gravel. Oh, that one's not helped him at all because, yeah, that one has taken a severe chunk of time away from him. He was seriously beginning to pressure Subtle as well, and that really does seriously increase the gap. That hurts to see. So now that we have, let's go through. So far, our driver standings for the Monday LMP series. We have at the moment Kate Thomas leading the points, Day 2nd, Tiger NASCAR 3rd, he's not here tonight. Cam Tizzle 4th, he's not here tonight. Scornsy 5th, he's not here tonight. Electric Blade, Josh Senior, Jarvis, Ray, Limestone, Air Racing Design, and Bobber make up the point standings. 12 cars currently listed in the championship. Very good grid last time out. At our, do we have points calculated yet? No, we do not. For the other divisions, not quite yet. I think Stewart reports are taking a little bit of time. It wasn't rainy IMLA in F1 last week, so we'll have to get those Stewart reports done as fast as we can so we get points. Like Kate Thomas and Josh Senior on their way in. Kate Thomas fueling. Currently listed that he has the softs on. And he's gone for the mediums, as we'd expect. Josh Senior has only made his way in now fueling. Remember, mediums and softs are the required tires here. On his defense is Josh Sheeter. He's gone for the mediums as well. Puts himself behind Aero Racing Design. Only 0.8 of a second as they make their way through the first couple of corners here. It looks like Cake is falling to third. Dace and Electric Blade have inherited the top 2 spots, although they, I would assume, are going to be pitting here shortly. Josh Sheeter doing his best within. Oh, there we go. Within a second of Aero Racing Design here. Aero Racing Design gone off. No, they haven't. Just interacting some again. See here now, Aero Racing Design currently finds himself 30 seconds behind the top 3. He has yet to pit, so that'll give the spot back to Josh Senior. I would assume we're going to see this mid-pack group of drivers. I would assume they're going to be coming in this time by. Not quite sure. As Aero Racing Design, I think it's yeah, there we go. That's kind of what I thought was happening. It's still 1.2 seconds the gap between these two. Josh Sheeter having a good outlap. Electric Blade on his way in his Porsche 919. He's just been overtaken by Cake. Is that right now? 1 minute and 29 seconds gap. I highly doubt that. Let's see if we have any other takers to the pits this time. I don't think we are. It doesn't look like we are. No, we are going to have one. It's going to be Bobber in his yellow Porsche. Mediums for Electric Blade. Bobber, the only other driver to come in so far. He'll be relegated to 8th. Look how worn those front tires are. Mediums going on here. Remember, the mediums are the required tire as well as the softs, and everybody has started on the softs. I think if you do have to make another stop, you'll see them go perhaps hard and maybe stretch it to the end. And it'll be quite the ask for them to do. But I tell you what, yeah, I'm not quite sure. 20 minutes completed here. This is where, as a driver, these races kind of get a little bit, I don't want to use the word mundane, but you have to keep your focus despite having nobody around you. That's the point of endurance racing, that you don't necessarily see in you know, the F1 racing or you know, those open wheel disciplines of racing, because they are quite short, aren't they? I mean, you kind of have it in IndyCar sometimes, but the whole point of, you know, the endurance racing, working out that strategy in your head as a driver. Of course, naturally in real life you have people there to do it for you, but that's kind of the beauty about this league, is that it is a whole different challenge. To not only try to maintain focus on track, but to maintain focus, you know, in your head as far as strategy is concerned. It is really a whole different animal. I tell you what, it is quite the beast to handle as well. These endurance races are no joke. Subtle does come in, so he is 7th at the moment. I believe Bobbert's going to be getting past. Refueling going here for Subtle. Medium tires for him, full fuel. As it looks like now, Aero Racing Design might be having a peek at Josh Senior here for the 3rd spot. Aero Racing Design still yet to hit the pace he's pulling. And I tell you what, he's gotten past Josh Senior. Yes, he has. Wonderful maneuver from Aero Racing Design to get past him through the S's. Josh Senior, I don't think needs to panic. He knows that Aero Racing Design is yet to pit. Making their way through turn 11 now. It looks like Aero Racing Design, I tell you what, still somehow maintaining the pace, even on those old tires, as Dace finally decides to come in. He was on 6% fuel, and so he'll be on his way in now. We'll go back along with this battle here. I would assume Aero Racing Design will make his stop this time by. Hank Thomas is spot that will be inherited by Josh Sr. once Aero Racing decides to pit. And there it is. Josh Sr. back up to third, Electric Blade to fourth. I believe we'll be getting Limestone to fifth. Yes, we will. Limestone to fifth. I don't suppose Aero's going to lose another spot here, unless it takes, that much time for them to refuel. And that may be the case. Looks like he's going to come out right side by side with Robert Yates here. Oh, and Aero's gone off. I must have missed that. I was trying to find the right camera angle, but I think these two may have tangled on exit of the pits there. They're coming out right close to each other. Oh yeah, we got some front damage there for front of Aero Racing Design's Porsche. It certainly looks like it. Robert Yates now within 0.8 of a second of Aero Racing Design and closing. Remember, it's going to take some time for Aero's tires to get up to temp. Robert Yates taking the wide route through turn 5. I doubt he's done it on purpose, but here he goes now through 6, 7, and 8 ABSs. Still 0.7 of a second. It is kind of playing limbo at that mark as well. Not really getting any closer, not really getting any farther. Down the back straight now, in towards turn 11. Let's see if Barber has anything here. I don't think he's close enough to make the move this time by. No, he's not. Still over. Oh, but Aero's gone wide! And I tell you what, that was the mistake that Bobbert needed to happen. And happen it has, as Aero Racing Design's gone wide. Exiting turn 11, he's gone into the sand. And that has given Bobbert Yates the spot. That's about the third time today we've seen a driver have a difficulty at that 11th corner. It's not an easy one to take. Because, despite the line you have to take through the corner, there's not that much exit curve there. And Aero Racing Designs found that out the hard way, as he'll begin his 16th lap of the race. 26 minutes completed here. We do still have Kate Thomas in the lead. Kind of by himself as he makes his way down the back straight in towards turn 11. Behind him is Dace, 8.5 seconds behind. Behind him in even 10 seconds is Josh Sr. in his Gulf livery Porsche. Blade doing his best to catch up to Josh Sr. Josh Sr. I almost said John Cena twice. That would have been something. And doing his best to come back. And again, he doesn't really need to panic. I think we're at least going to have one more stop here. 3/4 of a tank of fuel for that of Electric Blade. About halfway through the race. So yeah, I think we're going to be looking at 34-ish laps of racing here. That would be my estimate. You can never really tell until, the laps start to turn and the timing, start to happen. It's always difficult to tell until you're in the race. And we're about 27.5 minutes in. Kate Thomas has just started the 17th lap, so maybe looking closer to 36. Have to wait and see how that plays out. Not quite sure at this moment in time. We still have Josh Sr. I tell you what, Electric Blade is chopped about another 0.5 of a second off of that. Back to the Porsche head. And if you're wondering, let's go ahead and take a look at the scores here from the NBA. We do have the Lakers leading the Nuggets 43-33. With 9 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the second here. LeBron is having a great game. In fact, I believe he is so far. He does have, at this moment in time, 23 points on 15 minutes. By far leads the team. The next highest scorer is Anthony Davis. Austin. Is that Austin Reeves? Austin Reeves with 5. So LeBron doing his best, trying to take over here in the dying hour for the Los Angeles Lakers, down 3-0. Some not bad laps here. I think, honestly, it's going to be more about perhaps conservation to this point. I mean, cut off another 2/10 back to Josh Senior. Either that or Josh has made a mistake as he rounds turn 17. So we might be looking at a battle here shortly. I'm not quite sure. Josh Senior certainly using more fuel than that electric blade. We almost have a battle going here. Yes, we do. Bobber Yates looking to get past Limestone Butter here at some point. And Limestone, he's quite low on fuel and tires, so he will be coming into the pits this lap. And there he goes. Yes. So did he start on the mediums? I think he may have. But I say he was the one driver yet to pit. He started on the mediums. That'll prove why. I think he's done quite well. He's only going to lose a spot to Bobber in Aero. Less to Subtle. Getting time coming around the corner here. Fuel coming in for Limestone. I would assume he's going to be taking the softs here. Certainly have to. Yes, he does go soft. Definitely full tank of fuel here. Nearly side by side with Subtle. Subtle nearly getting into him. In fact, Subtle has got into him. Yikes. That one, yeah, I think that one probably should have been avoided there, honestly. Limestone coming out of the pits. Limestone was well ahead of Subtle. And he's been properly tapped in the rear. Pause. By that of Subtle. Yeah, I think discussions might go down after the race about that one. And not all friendly discussions as well, because now that really puts Limestone at this disadvantage here. And he was having a pretty solid race as well. Now has Ray 2 seconds ahead of him. He's got front damage as well, which I believe it's on light damage. It does kind of not affect the car again after a little while. It does seriously hamper you for a little bit. Second and a half is Ray to Limestone here as they head through turn 11. Really find himself a minute and 13 seconds off of Cake Thomas. Mind you, I believe is starting he's going through 6, 7, and 8. 30 minutes completed here. This is his 19th lap. So yeah, 36, 37 laps is my guess as Cake heads down the hill in turn 11. He's got Dace 6 seconds behind. And I tell you what, that gap is seriously closing. Dace has just gone his best sector 2 by over 0.2 of a second now. Dace doing his best to close that gap as much as he can. Some of the scores around the MLB. We've got tie game 5-5 between the Cards and the Reds. Top of the 9th at Cincinnati. Mace has just gone the fastest lap of the race, 1:38.772. I don't think he's going to be conserving anything as we do have. I believe this is a close battle happening here. Yes, it is. Limestone has climbed back to Ray here as they make their way through turns 6, 7, and 8. Not to mention Subtle. That bright purple car. Not that far away in the distance, about 2 seconds. Personal best sector 2 there for Limestone, over 2.5 tenths quicker. Does he have a move at Ray here into the 11th corner? He's going to look for it. He's going to switch down to the inside. Does he? No, he doesn't have it quite yet. Doing everything he can to try to make up that ground. Switches back down to the inside past Ray. Does he have the spot? Really, really close indeed, and yes, Limestone Butter does get the spot and now has 2 seconds. Back to Subtle. Ray, I think, is going to be slightly upset he didn't defend that one. I mean, he did really good to defend, but I tell you what, very much a mental game here. Despite being very quick through 2 sectors, Limestone's only gone 3/100 slower, and I think that was with the battling. Now finds himself a 1.5 seconds away from Subtle here, and closing. Hold on to your hats, folks. This one might get dicey here momentarily as we enter the 34th minute. 35th minute, actually. Ray just kind of playing it cool, maybe waiting for something to happen here. battle each other through turn 5. Well, we have a minute. Astros absolutely smacking the Braves in Milwaukee 10-1 at the bottom of the 6th. I didn't say it already. Dodgers have Braves at 6-4, bottom of the 5th in Atlanta. Giants beating the Twins 4-0 at this moment in time. Top of the 7th. All square between the Tigers and Royals in Kansas City. Bottom of the 6th, 5-5. Rockies up 2-1 over the Marlins at this point in the top of the 4th. Angels and Red Sox have yet to take to the mound. That game begins at 9:38, which is going to be happening here in just about 10 minutes' time. And Athletics and Mariners also in about 10 minutes' time, 9:40 in Seattle. Only one team LMP currently finds himself leading. It was the Rays got past the Blue Jays 6-4 today in Tampa Bay. As a Blue Jays fan, that's slightly upsetting, but it's what it is. Other than that, not one team aside from the Colorado Rockies leads at home. Interesting. Limestone Butter, I tell you what, he's closing in on Subtle here. He's got 0.3 of a second. And now closing, 0.2. Finds the inside. Does he find the move? Yes, he does. Kind of. Temporarily. Yes, he does. Very nicely done there from Limestone Butter. He's got Subtle still in pursuit as they make their way through the S's. Very nicely done from the red Porsche here, the red, white, and black Porsche, and gray. Well, gets himself past Subtle and into and also goes fastest personally through the second sector by over a second. Good lap already taking place here for Limestone. Limestone is taking the spot. Subtle doing his best to try and make something happen, perhaps catch up. We do have a battle here between Aero Racing Design and Bobbert as they make their way into the first corner. Less than a second are these two. Bobbert's gone wide there from through turn 2. Aero Racing Design might be left with an opportunity here shortly. Looking like he seriously might have one. Yeah, turn 4 down straight. Aero Racing Design, you see him take that turn 4. Take it very wide. In fact, wider than anyone else that I've seen so far. Trying to get as much acceleration, as much speed as he can down that straight. 3.5 and closing here. Aero Racing Design still closing in on Bobbert Yates. Through the S's. Making their way now through turns 9 and 10 down the back straight. Half a mile to negotiate with here. Aero Racing Design. Does he find anything down in the corner? He switches back to the outside. Is he going to have the move before they get into 11? Yes, they do. He'll have to switch back down because Bobbert has kept the inside line. Bobbert has kept the spot as well. Great defending there from the yellow Porsche. Aero Racing Design still in pursuit, still trying everything he can. 0.2 of a second or less. Still battling now. They're about to enter their 23rd lap of the Grand Prix. Oh, that was not a very well taken corner there from Bobbert. He's gone heavy into the grass. Going through 16 into 17 now. Aero Racing Design might have a go. Bobbert's gone wide. Yes, he has. Aero Racing Design takes the spot without the use of force. As I think Bobbert's he's just plain messed up that corner. Turn 17. About half tire life remaining there for Bobbert. I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just down to the driver error. Still have, well, I tell you what, suddenly Dace has moved within a second here of Kate Thomas and closing. I'm not really sure when or why or how this has happened. That gap was over 4 seconds not that long ago, and now suddenly we have ourselves a battle for the lead here between Dace and Kate Thomas. Top 2 of the championship currently. 0.5 of a second as they make their way through the first corner. Let's see if Dace has anything to offer here. Cake is really slow on exit at 2. I think Dace might have himself a move here shortly. Cake doing his best to defend. Cake not needing to panic yet. He knows there's going to be another stop in it with just over 20 minutes to go. We are at the Maggiore circuit here. Fictional track in Italy, but a beautiful one that is. 0.6 of a second here. Oh, I don't think Dace has had the best entry to the S's then. I think he's lost a little bit of time. Absolutely gunning it, though. He knows this is going to be his best shot of winning the race. Gotta find himself winning the slipstream here as they head up the hill through turn 11. Sorry, down the hill into turn 11, which is then back up a hill, I guess. Back on the throttle very nicely. Stagnant at about 0.7 of a second, not really getting any closer or falling off any. About halfway through the tire lines, under a quarter of the tank remaining, so I would assume within 3 or 4 laps time, as we do see Subtle come in now. I would say we have about 12 laps remaining in this race, as unfortunately Subtle has left the room. Unfortunate for him because he's been a part of a lot of good battles today, and Dace has taken the undercut here over Cake. That, it has to be said, I think was a very bold decision. And now refueling is Dace. Wow, that was, I tell you what, I did not expect him to take the undercut there. He's taken the softs, but I tell you what, that's going to force Cake Thomas to play his hand. Josh Sr.'s come in as well on his mediums. I assume he's going to be putting on the softs here. So is Electric Blade, so I tell you what, we're going to be seeing these two cars come out of the pits right close to each other. Let's see what happens here. Fuel going in for both drivers. It's softs for Josh Sr. and it is also softs for Electric Blade. Electric Blade full of fuel. I believe Josh Sr. went to 92%. Then goes wide at a turn 2. We have a battle going on a little bit further back. Yeah, Limestone only has 0.7 of a second on Bobber Yates. Bobber on his way in now. Battle going there. 0.5 of a second the gap between Electric Blade and Josh Sr. as they make their way through 6, 7, and 8. What Electric might have a look at a move here shortly. Josh Sr. has really had that third spot all day long so far, and not has had very many people, if any, challenge him for the spot. Down the back straight they go, in towards turn 11, 0.2 of a second in, closing. Electric Blade, does he want the move? Oh, I think he's not really made up his mind quick enough, because you can see he kind of wanted to peek his head down to the inside, but chose not to and tucked it in behind Josh Sr. Still, and now, under 1/10, side by side. Very dangerous part of the track to go side by side, but they've made it work, and Electric Blade has taken the spot as they make their way now through turns 14, 15, and eventually into 16. And Electric Blade has taken the spot. Oh, Josh Sr. has snapped out wide. He's very lucky to have held on to the car, because I tell you what, he has had quite the snap of oversteer just then. Josh Sr., man, you got a feel for him, because he really had that third spot wrapped up. But I tell you what, fourth would still be a very good result for him. Josh Sr. now has a little bit of work to do here. 2.5 back to Electric Blade. If you're wondering about the currently the conference finals, we do have the Florida Panthers leading the Carolina Hurricanes 1-0. 5:50 remaining in the second period here. Panthers up 2-0 in the series. Which is a little surprising to me. I would have thought the Carolina would have put up a much better fight. But well, still a lot of hockey left for them. Cake Thomas into the pits. Has himself a 20-second buffer back to Dace, but is it enough? And oh, by the way, we've got a battle going here between Ray Ray and Bobby Yates down to 7.5 tenths. Dace coming out of the final corner now. Yeah, Dace is going to overtake Cake here. Yes, he is. Cake fueling. Only now is he on his way out. Dace has got about a 6-second lead over that of Cake. No, it's actually only about 3 seconds. I was wrong. Just over 15 minutes remaining here. Dace has a 4-second lead over that of Cake Thomas. I believe we do have a close battle happening here. Yes, we do. Ray Ray within 0.6 of a second, although I tell you what, he must not have gotten good acceleration on the 5 because that gap is getting larger now, almost outside of a second. The closest battle on track. We do still have that battle for the lead. 5 seconds. We also have, what is this, Electric Blade. I would say starting to pull away from Josh Senior here, but that's not necessarily true. That gap staying at about a 1.5 seconds. I think we're going to go along with this one, just because it is for that 3rd spot. Making the way in towards turn 5. Electric Blade has the advantage. Over a 1.5 seconds. 14.5 minutes remaining here in the Maggiore. They call them Grand Prix and endurance racing. I'm not quite sure, but either way, 14 minutes remaining here. Josh Senior just gone personal best second 2 by about 4.5 tenths of a second. Ray Ray seems to have chosen the hards on that last stop. Into the pits he goes now. I would assume he's going to take the softs, considering the softs and the mediums with the required tires still. One of the few drivers I've seen on the Continentals. Ace on no-name tires. Cake Thomas, I believe those are Michelin's. Yeah, Michelin's. Electric Blade, I think, also on Michelin's here, yeah. I believe this is Josh Senior on Hancock. Interesting. Aero Racing Design, I think these caps chosen. I'm not sure if those are Bridgestones or not. We also got Michelin's on that. The tire wars don't exist, but it's fun to believe they do, okay? Josh Senior, 2nd and 7/10. Oh, Aero Racing Design's come into the pits here. I believe he's going to be going back to the softs with just over 13 minutes to go here, remaining in the race. That's what I would expect. Tires going on, fuel coming in. I don't think he's going to need that much fuel just to get him over the line. And if so, you do have the fuel richness dial. What has he gone to? He has gone full fuel. He's gone to the softs as well. Closest battle on track is still Josh Senior trying to hunt down that of Electric Blade for the 3rd spot. Remember, Electric Blade did very well to get around Josh Senior, and since then, he has not looked back. And 20 minutes ago, we do have bullpen empty. Marcelo Zunia's backswing hits catcher Will Smith. Quote unquote, that's like the 5th time you've done it, interestingly enough. So Marcelo Zunia not only hits his wife, but he hits the catcher as well. Tell you what, that joke may have been slightly more than you down there, but you know, that's alright. Tried myself in the face. 1.7 seconds here. Still doing his best. We do have a pretty close battle happening here. No, it's Bobber Yates. Well, I say battle, it is Bobber Yates getting the blue flags for Dace here, which he's going to have to obey here right shortly. Dace getting around his left side then. Very nicely done there, and he's done it well. He's not slow to the middle of the corner. He's made sure to wait to the straight and then go in the racing line. It's nicely done. Still about 5.2 seconds back to Cake Thomas for the lead of the race so far. Battle on track still remains that of Josh Senior back to Electric Blade. I gotta say, Electric Blade beginning to pull away from that of Josh Senior. seconds the gap and starting to get farther. But I will say, I mean, we've seen it a couple times today. One driver having a, I don't want to use the word clear lead, but certainly a lead over another driver, and then one mistake, sending it all packing. I think that may be, I don't want to speak too soon, as I've done time and time again already today, but I know we have seen that before. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it again. Neat little three-car train back here. When I say train, it's just Bobber Yates in between Dace and Cake here. That gap now within 5 seconds. Cake is running out of time to make something happen here. He's got 10 minutes remaining in the race to try and find a way to get himself back into the win column yet again. Win last time out of Daytona? I want to say he did. Yeah, won at Daytona. The fastest lap was taken by that of Swarthy, then Volcane Tizzle had the fastest lap. Seconds now, as we do see again, Bobber Yates needs to get out of the way here. Cake, he's not necessarily impeding him, but he does have the blue flags warning here, as you can see, and I think he's going to see once he gets out of the final corner here. Yep, there he goes, very nicely done. Well, I tell you what, he's not really letting off the throttle that much either. He's waiting for Cake to get by, and he finally did. But I tell you what, he's very reluctant to let off the throttle. That's quite smart. He's got over 12.5 seconds back to Limestone, but you never know, stranger things have happened here. I tell you what, I think Josh Sr., we were talking earlier about the mistakes being made, and I tell you what, I think he's made a mistake in himself, because he's now fallen back over another second and a half back to electric plate here. Just over 8 minutes remaining. Hits. Barber has once overtaken him. Air rate comes out, 79% fuel and soft tires. Gap for the lead now back up to 5.2 seconds. It was within 5 not that long ago. 8 minutes remaining here. Josh Sr. starting to climb back to electric plates. Still some time left. 2.7 seconds the gap still. Further away from the Nuggets. Just about the end of the first half here, 73-58 in favor of the Lakers. If you're like me and you're a fan of the Boston Celtics, last night was quite the night to forget. As, there's no other way to say this. They got absolutely smacked by Miami, 128-102. I'll tell you what, Josh Sr. suddenly back within second and a half of electric plate here. I'm not quite sure what's happened. Slightly odd. Either Josh Sr. has flicked off the conserve setting, or maybe that's what's happened with electric plate. Maybe he needs to conserve to make the end. He's definitely got more fuel. I'm not quite sure. That's a little bold. I did not expect Josh Sr. to climb back so fast, I'm going to go ahead and chalk it up to a mistake on behalf of Electric Blade, because that gap now within 1.2 seconds. And speak of mistake, well, no, never mind. It's so worrying to see, it really is. We do have Dace still leading Kate Thomas by about 5.5 seconds. I believe was that just Limestone. One may have just gone off there temporarily. Josh Sr. now, 1.3 seconds. Cardinals and Reds are now into extra innings. 5-all. In Cincinnati. 1.3 seconds the gap. We're going to have 5 minutes to go here. Very shortly. 1 second. Making their way into the first quarter. 5 minutes remaining in the Maggiore race here for the LMP class. Electric Blade suddenly under pressure. Josh Sr. behind. I tell you what, these two battled it out not long ago. Well, I say not long, probably about 10 minutes ago for that third spot that Electric Blade occupies. I tell you what, Josh Sr. does have much better wear on his front tires. You can see certainly a lot more wear on Electric Blade's part, as you can see in the bottom left corner of your screen. Josh Sr.'s tires do look better. Have to wait and see. 0.8 of a second and closing. Does Josh Sr. have anything here? I believe he may begin to see the slipstream from Electric Blade ahead. I don't think he has it enough yet to seriously challenge him for the spot. Electric Blade still ahead. 3/4 of a second in front of the Porsche. As they head in towards now, turn 14, 15, and eventually 16. Tell you what, Josh Sr. is getting close. He's not really. I don't think he's closing the gap fast enough. Realistically, I mean, he's 7.5 tenths away. I think once he does pick up the slipstream, which I think he's beginning to now it's within 7 tenths. I think we may start to see the overtake take place. 6 tenths now. Through the second corner. Remember, this is for the final step on the podium. It's going to be 3 minutes to go here very shortly. Josh Sr. heading down the straight now. Does he have enough to find his way? He is running lower fuel and better tires than that of Electric Blade ahead. Science would say Josh Sr. should be able to make this overtake happen. They're making their way now through 5, 6, and 7, the S's. Sorry, 6, 7, and 8, the S's. 0.8 of a second. Better acceleration here out of turn 10 is going to make the difference. I say acceleration in the flat-out corners. The gap now up to almost 9 tenths. I think Electric Blade might be running a better line here. We'll have to wait and see. I think Josh Sr. is going to have to start pushing the limits. Uses all of the exit that he can. Still, about what? It's gone up again to about a second. Josh Sr., I tell you what, suddenly now, a lot less fuel than that of Electric Blade. Maybe that's just what needed to happen. Maybe Josh Sr. needed to maybe switch on the loud pedal a little bit more for that trying to pressure him. And I think maybe he thinks now, I mean, he's only got just over a minute and a half remaining. So maybe he can try to send it here. Like, Cake is starting to close in, Dace is, yeah, no, I had it right the first time. Cake is starting to close into Dace here, albeit still 3 3/4 of a second. And now it's 1 second the gap here between these two. A minute and a half remaining. Dace making his way through turn 13 into 14. See what it says when it gets to the line, but I believe we can call this the penultimate lap of the race right here. 1 minute remaining here at Maggiore. I would think 1 lap to go for Dace, considering these laps now minute and 40-second laps. The gap now between Josh Sheeter and Electric Blade down to 7.5 tenths and closing. Yeah, Electric Blade still a lot of tire wear, but doing his best and still having some good laps here. Still holding off Josh Sheeter behind. 30 seconds remaining. Dace making his way down towards turn 5. Josh Sheeter now 15, 16, and 17. Make it to the line before having to start another lap. Which I think Josh Sheeter's going to be thankful for. I think Electric Blade maybe wanted that race to end now. He's about 8 seconds short. Final lap of the race for them. And now time is elapsed. Now. Is now the final lap, and he's only just made it in the second two. I wonder if that's the cutoff or not. Final lap of the race here. Dace has almost 5 seconds back to take. Final lap for these two as well, as they make their way through turn 4. Josh Senior within 0.6 of a second for the final podium spot. Dace now, he's going to be going through turns 13 and into 14 here shortly. Go along with Dace as he makes his way out of turn 15 and 16. It was the strategy game that helped Dace along today, because I tell you what, this is a race that he'll be very happy he's won. It will be Dace making his way around the final corner. He will win the Maggiore LMP race here in the Midwest LMP Series, and now we have 0.4 of a second between Josh Sheeter and Electric Blade on the final lap. I think he maybe has run out of opportunities to overtake, though. That's my only worry. Because 0.5 of a second isn't a lot. But I tell you what, where is he going to overtake now? I think the Electric Blade might have this one wrapped here. Why did it say Cake is one? Did Dace not use the required compounds? I think that might be the case. Did Dace not use the required compounds? It says Cake is taking the win, and Dace very clearly crossed the line first as Bobber Yates doing donuts on the straight then. Electric Blade. No? Electric... What? Okay, this is odd. I think Dace may have not used the required compounds, because he's dropped below both Electric Blade and Josh Senior. Is that what's happened? Can I check the chat real quick? I don't actually know. That's very odd. Dace saying he clicked on mediums and they didn't change for him. Wow. Well, that is quite the development there. Well, anyways, appreciate y'all joining us. Hotspot, it's been a pleasure on the call this time out. Next time, LMP chat, the LMP series heads to Watkins Glen, the long course, with the boot and everything. And the rest of the league, the F1 league, we head to Monaco. Man, what an action-packed week we're going to have here in Midwest. Thank you all for joining. We'll see you next time.